Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, what I want to do today is something I've actually been thinking about for a couple of weeks. And you may recall a few months back I put a pool cover on the pool. And the reasoning for doing that was kind of, it made a lot of sense at the time because, well, the pool was getting too cold to swim in anyway, and we were coming into fall, and I didn't want to be dealing with tons and tons of leaf waste ending up in the pool. Now I kind of figured that we'd probably leave the cover on until March or April when it started getting to the point where we're starting to warm up again. But one of the downsides that comes with having the pool completely covered the way it is I can't put any chemicals in it without literally removing the cover and doing that kind of stuff. And I don't want to be putting the cover on, taking it off all the time. So I've really haven't done any chemistry or any of the chlorine or any of the shocking material that I'm supposed to put in the pool periodically. It shouldn't be a problem because it's covered, and there shouldn't be any growth going on in there because there's no light in there because the pool cover is covering everything up. So it should be fine. But I have decided today, I think, since we're pretty much through now with all the leaves falling off the tree, that I can probably pretty safely take the cover off. Like I said, that was the main thing, and the pool cover has done a fantastic job of preventing that. Because I know that how many leaves have ended up on top of that pool cover, and for as many of them that ended up on the pool cover that I ended up removing, there would have been way more if it was exposed water, because most of the leaves that were coming out of the tree were being blown out of the tree by the wind that is pretty common this time of year in Texas. And that every one of the leaves that ended up on the pool cover, a whole bunch of them ended up getting blown off the pool cover. And if it had just been bare water in there, that never would have happened. That would have all sunk, and I would have had like a 2-inch layer of leaf waste at the bottom of the pool. So the pool cover has done a great job on that, but I think we're past pool cover weather now. So I'm going to take the cover off. Let's take a look at what the water looks like, and we can pack this thing up and maybe use it again next year. So that's, I think, the task for today. We're going to take the pool cover off. There's one more thing I want to look at too. I can't really tell by looking at the pool cover, but it appears that the water level has dropped somewhat. Now, there shouldn't be any evaporation going on with the cover there, so I got to wonder if maybe I got a leak in the liner somewhere. I know that's kind of an issue you have to deal with these above ground pools, that you have to replace the liner periodically, and that's probably the reason why, because eventually they start leaking. Now, I don't think this is a huge leak, so it's probably something that we can get a couple more years out of it and have to deal with it at some point. But at very least, I would like to be able to get the cover off of it, put some more water in it, and maybe get the filters running a little bit. See, part of the problem I run into with running the pump right now with the cover on is if the water level is too low, there's not going to be any water going into the pump, and you don't want to dry run that pump because the pump will burn up. It needs the water to keep itself cool. So let's take the cover off of it and let's see what's in there. Yeah, see, all these leaves and many, many, many more over the past couple months would be in this pool right now had I not put the pool cover in there. Now, I can always run the pool vacuum and do that, but some of these leaves are big and they're not going to get pulled in. This is one of the leaves right here. It's one of the bigger ones, and that's the kind of thing that's just going to clog up the pool vacuum. So, it's a good thing we had the cover on here, and but now I think it's time to take it off. And like I said, next year we're gonna deal with the pillows a little better so they don't all navigate to one side of the yard. Yeah, see, this is the tree that was the main culprit for dropping leaves, because literally the pool's right here, and this thing is completely bare now. I mean, there's like 1 or 2 leaves up in there, but I can deal with that. And most of those should probably come down anyway pretty soon. But like I said, we're past leaf dropping season. This tree here doesn't drop its leaves apparently, so it's going to stay green through the year. But all the trees in the front yard, and this tree and the tree next to it here, this is in the neighbor's yard, they're all bare, so there shouldn't be any more leaves coming into this yard. All right, I'm happy to say the pool cover worked 100% perfectly. There is like almost nothing in the pool. I think I could probably run the sweep through here and do all right. It's definitely not any swimming weather right now. I just looked at the temperature. It's 58 degrees in there. But you know what? That's okay. I can definitely start feeding it chemicals now, and we can run the sweep in here and we'll get what little is in here. I knew there were going to be a few leaves in here because I ended up having a few leaves get left in here when I closed it up, because in the process of trying to get the pool cover on, I ended up pulling a few leaves in. But we are, I think, in better shape now. I do know that the water is a little bit on the low side. Fortunately, it's not so low that I wouldn't be able to run the pump at this point, but I wouldn't want to run it much lower than that. You can see this is kind of the line right here. There's a line there, that's low water mark, high water mark. And so we're very, very close to low water mark. So we're going to put some water in here. We're going to give it some chemicals, and we're going to run the sweep through here. So that's going to be the task for the rest of the day. Now, I'm going to pay closer attention to putting water in this time, because last time I put water in there, I lost track of the time. I came back and the pool was overflowing, and so I had to turn and drain the water, and then I lost track of the time again and ended up draining too much water and had to put more water in. So yeah, I've learned that basically I can raise the water level about a couple of inches an hour if I put the garden hose in here. So we're just going to put the garden hose in here, and we'll turn on the timer for about an hour, and we'll check it out then and make adjustments as necessary. Alright, so I got the garden hose on, filling up this thing. We've cleaned out the filter housings. There's two actually filter baskets. There's one here in the skimmer basket. There's also one on the front end of the pump, and I got a little air in that thing, so it's going to take a minute for it to suck all that out. But we're going to run that for a while. That should kind of keep the water moving a little bit. As you can see, we got water coming out of the jet here, so I think we're doing good. I think I want to drop the vacuum in there, and let's let the vacuum do its thing. And then I'm going to put some chemicals in it, and let's see if we can keep this bad boy looking nice and blue. Now, as you probably recall from last fall, I pulled the vacuum out of the pool, basically cleaned it up, and then put it onto its rack. So I think this is just about ready to get put back in the pool. I shouldn't have to do anything, just drop it in there and turn it on. So that's the next step. Now I gotta admit, this thing's a lot lighter when it's not water soaked. I was actually surprised how light it was. And I got it up here on the side of the pool. I was just about to throw it in. All of a sudden a lizard popped out from there. There was a lizard living in this thing over the winter, and so that kind of startled me. But we got him down to the ground. He took off into the bushes somewhere, so he can go out and be a lizard, stop living in my pool sweep. All right, bon voyage. Let's see if there's any more lizards in here. We'll find out in a minute, I bet you. Just pull the extra cord in here, and then we're going to turn this on and run a cycle. Alright, the robot's doing its thing. It's starting to move around a little bit. Give it a couple hours and it should have the bottom of this thing nice and clean. Now it definitely does appear that we have a slow leak on the pool liner somewhere. I don't think it's a substantial leak because we've only lost about 4 inches of water in the last 3 months or so. So that is actually one of the things you have to deal with these above ground pools, is that you have to periodically replace the liner. But I don't think this year is going to be the one we have to do that. We're maybe a few more years out of this one. So what I'm actually probably going to do next time I talk to the owner, the previous owner of this place, is ask him, how old the pool is, how long it's been since they've replaced the liner. There's a few questions I have about it that they probably could answer. But in the meantime, I think we are well on our way to having the pool be ready to be habitable again in about 6 months. Now that, like I said, now that all the leaf waste is done coming out of the trees, it should just be a simple maintenance, and having access to the water is definitely going to be the way to go. I've put the shock chemical in there, and that's doing its thing. I've given it some more chlorine tablets. And so, like I said, we're just going to let the pool sweep do the rest and put some more water in it, and we should be good to go. So we'll check in about an hour and see where we are. I also noticed that one of the pool pillows deflated during the time it was in the pool, so that one must leak or something. The other 3 seem to be in good shape, and I'm going to deflate those and we'll fold them up and we'll use them again next year. And pool cover, I'm gonna try and get that all cleaned off, and I think we can use that again. They actually say, you know, these things are almost like disposable, and so they say if after 1 year you have to replace it, they'll replace it for you for free. After 2 years, they'll pay for like 50% of it. But I bet you I can get another year of this. But we've got to clean all the junk off of the top of it and fold it up so it'll be good for next year. All right, we're actually about 2 hours into the pool filling adventure here. And as you can see, we're almost to the upper level. We brought the water up a good 2.5 or 3 inches. So this is where we want it. We don't want to really get any higher than this line right here, because the point of this is to be a skimmer. It's supposed to basically pull in anything that's on the surface, and if the water goes above that, then nothing's going to get sucked in. So I'm going to turn off the hose right now, and I think the pool sweep is still kind of doing its thing. So we'll just continue to let that happen, and the pool is actually looking a lot better. So that's kind of what we wanted. So water off. All right, so I got a lot done today. I'm really happy with that. We got the pool cover off, obviously, got the pool pillows out, got the chemistry in for the pool, got the sweep going, raised the water level. I also had a bunch of like leaf waste that was like piling up in one corner of the front yard, and I managed to get that all bagged. So on Thursday when the trash comes, they'll be able to take that away from me. So that's a good thing too, because you know, you can do your best to like push all those leaves into a corner, but when it gets windy like it's been for the last few days, yeah, they don't stay in that corner very well. So I'm glad to have that all cleaned up and ready to go on to the next step now. So I think that is all that I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.